everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. You guys, we have an amazing guest in the building today. Today, we will be speaking to real estate professional Chris Daniels. So, Chris, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself, we'll hop right on in.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to reach out to speak with you and also to speak to your audience as well. So, I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I ended up coming down to Tallahassee playing football. So, I played football at FAMU. So, I'm a FAMU alum. Then I graduated. I went to school at FAM and then I got my real estate license. So, I became a real estate agent. So, I worked in new construction sales. That was my first kind of like real estate gig
Yes.
in the Tallahassee area. But only bad thing was that was right when like the market crashed. So it was like a horrible time to be a real estate agent. So what I decided to do was go back to school. So I ended up going to grad school at Howard University. I went to Howard University for graduate school, and then I came back down to Tallahassee, and I've been doing real estate here in Tallahassee and teaching as well since then.
Awesome. So, the market crashed, right? And then you were like,
Yes.
okay, like, God, this is what I want to do and don't seem like I can make it happen right now. What was your thought process in that and just saying, okay, I can't sell right now or work right now, but I'm going to go back to grad school? What was the thought process going into that?
So, there's always a saying, delayed, not denied.
Correct.
So I just thought about, okay, just delayed. So, it was interesting because at that time, like real estate, everyone was getting rich. Like everybody was making so much money, so much money. I was like, bam, it's my time. Like it's my
Yeah.
time to shine. You know what I'm saying? And then everything just went bam, just went down. So,
Yeah.
I just said, okay, cool. But the good thing was I gained a lot of experience, I gained a lot of knowledge, and I actually learned more from a downtime than I did in up times because now I got
Mhm.
to see why people lost money and make sure that I didn't do the same thing. So I saw
Yeah.
people go from like millionaires to broke, like a
Yeah.
whole lot of them. So I learned a lot of lessons, and that helped me to avoid those making those same mistakes.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like as people, once things don't go the way that we want them to go, it's like we feel like it's not meant for us. And it's not the fact that it's not meant for us, that maybe it's just not meant for us right now. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, eventually or down the road. But you have to find yourself being okay with it not working out in that moment if that's not what God wants to happen and God wants you to do. So speaking on like your teaching, like why did you start that? What's the purpose behind you teaching our community about real estate and how to invest and how to flip? Like what's going on with that?
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot of people who want to get involved in real estate, but there's actually not a lot of quality education out there. That's one thing I noticed that, there are some people here and there who teach, but they don't teach very well. And a lot of them are kind of like, I don't want to say scammers, but they're like, not very, straightforward. And they kind of
Yeah,
like sugarcoat everything like, oh, if you hold your breath for 5 minutes, you'll be rich. Like you don't have to do
yeah,
any work, you don't have to do anything. Like they make it look so easy,
yeah.
right? So
Hmm.
I wanted to, provide higher quality education because that's what our people deserve, right?
Yeah,
Real estate is an amazing way to create wealth. I've done very, very well in real estate myself, and I've seen
yeah,
several other people do very well. However, you have to do it a certain way, and if you start doing it the wrong way, then you're going to end up like the people who I saw lose a bunch of money when
yeah,
things go the other way.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I would say, what has been some of the challenges of embarking on real estate by itself and then adding teaching to the mix? Like, what has like been some of the
Right.
like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, why right now? Like, why does it have to happen right now?
Yeah.
What has that been like?
Yeah, I mean, there's always challenges in real estate. Like sometimes, you buy a property and then something unexpected happens. Like one house, there was a bunch of termites in the house and like this craziness. So we had to tear out walls and we had to do this and replace that. There's a lot of unexpected things that happen when you do renovations. So I
Yeah,
think doing that is certainly something that is a challenge. When it comes to the teaching side, is you have to get out, you have to put yourself out there, so if you're kind of like shy, you don't want to be on social media all day and always posting and stuff like that, which I'm
yeah,
sure a lot of people may struggle with.
Yeah.
it's something that you have to get over. You have to say, look,
Mhm.
I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna post every day, whether I feel like I'm handsome today or whatever. Da da da.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
still have to post something just so people can engage your content.
Yeah. And honestly, I would say that I think like when I first started creating videos, especially the podcast, oh my God, I was so nervous. I was like, this,
Hmm.
God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But because you're leading me to this, I'm gonna do it because you're leading me to this. But I would say that and I feel like in real estate too, it allows you to step outside of your comfort zone, right? Like it allows you to really get out there and sell yourself and sell the property. But how important is it to, give this information back to the community? Like how important is it for, us as professionals to want to make sure our community has everything that they need in regards to topics like this when it comes to real estate?
Absolutely, it's critical. Real estate's the number one way to create wealth. For the average person, the most valuable asset that you'll ever have is your house, right?
Yeah,
So, understanding how to properly purchase a home, and also maybe to buy some investment property as well. That's the number one way to create wealth. So, and it's the simplest way to create wealth, frankly. So,
yeah.
that's why I want to educate people because there's such a big gap, a wealth gap in this country, and one of the main reasons is because of real estate.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. And it's crazy though because I kind of feel like as a community and in the black community as well, we haven't really we weren't as hip to what real estate could really do for our families, our portfolios, and like how we invest our money. And it's crazy because now it's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, I'm flipping houses, I'm buying houses, or I'm renting out Airbnbs, or stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I would say though, like if you could give any maybe upcoming real estate agent or someone that is interested in real estate, what advice would you give them for those who are like just first starting out and wanting to embark in the real estate world?
The most important thing is to get a mentor, right? If you wanna get to where you want to go, you need to get a mentor, someone who's been to where you want to go, who can show you how to avoid the pitfalls. That's the number one thing I would always advise everyone to get a mentor. I do have a mentorship program. Other people have mentorship programs, but I would say just find a mentor and someone
Yeah,
who you can say, okay, that's the person I want to work with, who can kind of steer me in the right direction. That's what I
yeah.
would certainly suggest.
Yeah, and then too, I would say, I mean, I follow a lot of real estate agents on Instagram and Facebook, and they also say to another big key to the business is networking. So it's all about, like you said, putting yourself out there, making yourself, open that to different events to meet new people. So, what advice would you give someone who's afraid to get out there and network? Who's afraid to because I mean that's part of real estate. Real estate is connecting with people, but like, what advice would you give someone who's shy and afraid to do that?
Absolutely. So what you would do is this. Let's say, you're kind of shy. Networking can be slightly awkward to you. I would say, okay, go to events and invite a friend, right? So someone you're comfortable with, you don't feel awkward and like kind of weird around, and say, hey,
Yeah,
look, I'm trying to get out there more, but I'm a little, shy or whatever. Can you come with me? Right?
yeah,
And then that person being with you will help you kind of get through those awkward moments because they can like help you talk to someone else. They can kind of bring someone's a little more social. So I always
yeah,
say just invite one of your friends. That's one of the easier ways to kind of get past your fear of networking is at least have one friend at the event so it won't be like I'm out there for 2 hours with nobody to talk to.
yeah.
So that's an easy way to kind of get past it.
No, I love that. And that's what I'm saying too, is like I feel like you have to be around people who support your vision, who support your goals and support really what you want to do. But do you think you've ever had a time in your career where it really was just you? Like there was no one supporting you, there was no one patting you on your back and saying, go, Chris. Like have you ever had that happen? I
Well,
mean,
I,
in the beginning or
I've always had good support. I think when you kind of get past certain benchmarks, it becomes a little bit difficult, right? So
yeah.
like when you start trying to like scale and like go to the next level of business, sometimes people doubt whether or not you can actually do it,
Mm,
because it's challenging, right? So like if you're doing like one house here, one house there, but then you say, look, I want to do 10 houses, I want to do 20 houses, then it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're gonna
yeah.
start getting a lot of doubt. So that's the difference.
Yes, and that's
Yeah.
crazy too though, because I feel like in this instance too, like you have to believe in yourself more than other people believe in you, right? Because just talking to
Yep.
other real estate agents, they just was like, this is all on you, right? Your success of how you are in this business is all on you. So you have to realize
Yes.
that it's not everybody else trying to make the deal work, it's you making the deal work. Are you making the contacts and doing everything that you need to do? So no, I totally agree. And I feel like it takes a special person to be in real estate too, because I just feel like I don't know. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure every job or career has its down moments, but have you ever just had to really sit down and just like balance it all out? Like I can't let work overpower my life. I can't let work take over everything that I got going on because I'm
Yes.
an individual outside of real estate, Like,
Yeah.
who I can only imagine. I can only
Absolutely. It's a lot of work. It can be very challenging, especially kind of in my level, in my position where you have a lot of projects going on. Like I have several. I'm renovating, I think 6 or 7 houses right now. I'm renovating some apartments. I'm building some new houses. So once you get to that level, it becomes very, time consuming.
imagine.
So you have to learn how
Yeah.
to always balance things out, for sure.
100%, 100%. Well, one question I love to always ask my guests is this. So, do you feel like you are pursuing your purpose? If not, why? And if so, how?
Absolutely. I mean, this is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to do real estate. I've always wanted to develop.
Yeah.
So I'm doing exactly what I've always wanted to do, and then now getting to teach people as well. So I think that's what I really love about it, and that's what keeps me going is the fact that this is exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm
Yeah.
seeing every day is a step, seeing my dreams come true.
Yes, 100%. And then I think sometimes when I ask that question too, it's like, what do you mean? Like, I feel like I'm doing, what I'm called to do. And some people really say no. Like, this is what God has called
Yeah.
me to do because I know it because it's in alignment. And I think that when people hear that, they expect for like the road to be easy. But the road to
Ugh.
following your purpose is never easy, right? Like there's always gonna be some hiccups, always gonna be some like, dog, God, another wall. Like I can't win for nothing. I can't win for
Right.
nothing. But like I always say though, like your purpose is always going to be the greatest journey that you're ever gonna take with yourself because it's never gonna be the same thing. It's never gonna be the same thing every day. It's never gonna be the same thing every day because you're always, moving and learning and watching God just show up in your life, and you're like, wow. But just by staying the course, I was able to see what
Right.
God wanted me to see. But I feel like that's the beautiful thing. And like when I talk to people who really just are like, yeah, like I'm doing what God called me to do. I am. I'm
Yeah.
doing it. I'm so
Yeah.
confident in it. And I love that. Well, Chris, if you could leave the viewers, the listeners, with anything from today, what would you leave them with?
I just leave them with this. I would say chase your dreams, right? So whatever you say that you want to do, this is the year to go for it, right? This is 2023. This is the year of Jordan, right? So we all know Jordan was one of the greatest of all times. So this
Right,
is your
right.
year to be great. So let's not wait. Let's get on it. If you want to get involved in real estate, I'm here for you. Just make sure you can reach out to me on social media, however, and chase your dreams. Make 2023 the year that you achieve your greatness.
Yes. And then, Chris, also let them know where they can find you just in case they want to chat more, they want to get into mentorship, even just want to hear more about your story. Where can they find you and get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So on Instagram, it's at Chris Daniels 1887. And my email is info@newerafla.com. So either one of those, you can reach out to me, send me a DM, send me an email, and I'll be glad to reach out to you, to get up with you.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to come talk to us about real estate and what it really means to just go after it. Don't stop, don't quit, because there's always something on the other side. So I really appreciate you for taking the time to sit down with us this week to talk about real estate and purpose, okay? But you guys, that has been another amazing episode of the You're Not Done Yet podcast, where your purpose is just moments away, and I'm here to help you get there. Make sure you're following me, your host, at It's Andrea B on Instagram, and the You're Not Done Yet podcast at You're Not Done Yet pod on Instagram as well. And this has been an amazing episode, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.